Hello Internetians, my name is Josh, aka Ultra Player, welcoming you to the MPL, the Major League, or MLP, I'm sorry, the MLP, the Major League Pokemon. What this is a draft style format, much like the GBA, where 15 teams have drafted a team of 11 Pokemon, and are going to be spending the next 15 weeks in counting teaming each other and battling. Now, the way the draft worked was the 16 of us were randomized into a snake ordered draft in which we'd go 1 to 16 and then sit back to 16 to 1, drafting one Pokemon after another to fill our teams. Now, what we had to draft was, we had 6 tiers, which was just 6 tiers of Pokemon. We had to draft one from each tier. We had to draft a Mega, and then we had to draft 4 Mons using our free points and not go over our point value. Now, we had 400 points for 4 Mons, which was kind of tough because stuff like Tier 1 was 180 points, I believe, which is really crazy. But there was a way to get more points, and that was choosing a lower tier Mega. But Megas that don't do so well give you more points, such as Mega Beedrill, such as Mega I think Mega Diancie is a lower tier, Mega Sharpedo, Mega Sceptile, etc., etc. So what this video shows to do is, this is my draft recap video. We're going to go over the 11 Mons I chose, why I chose them, what I expect for them, and overall how I feel like the season is going to work. Now, as you can see by this amazing logo in front of you, we are the New York Metagross. That has always been my team name. That is always going to be my team name. I find it a very good, very cool team name. And shoutouts to fellow coach Shay Collum for creating this amazing logo. This thing is so beautiful, and I am so excited for it. It looks so great. So, without further ado, let us get into our draft. Now, I had number 16 in the draft. I was dead last, so I had to wait. Every time I had to wait for the draft to come all the way down to me. But that meant I got a wheel pick, which isn't too bad. The wheel pick is really good because no matter what, you're always getting 2 at a time. So, there's 2 Mons that I really wanted to use, and I didn't figure out until about spot number 14 that one of them wasn't available, which was Volcanion. I really wanted to use that just because it's an amazing Mon, but it's banned, along with Mega Metagross and Hoop Unbound, which is already banned from OU. But there were some Mons I was looking at. I was looking at Landorus Incarnate. I was looking at drafting Mew again, looking at Mega Altaria. I was looking at so much. But I knew first round that I wanted to draft my Mega, because I really wanted that to be a good... I always like my Mega to be a big focal point of my draft. I like it to be one of the biggest things that stands out. And I've used a number of Megas over the time. I've used Mega Altaria before. Sorry. In one league where it was legal, I used Mega Metagross. I've used Mega Venusaur. I've used Mega Scizor. But one Mon I haven't used that I really wanted to use because it's just so good in this format was Mega Lopunny. Mega Lopunny is amazing. You hear about it all the time in this kind of format. It's amazing attack. It's amazing speed. Allow it to outspeed so much other than a few other Megas, such as Mega Alakazam, Mega Aerodactyl, stuff like a Cellcore, Ninjask. It's one of the fastest things you can get. And that base 136 attack hits really hard. But one thing that people do not talk about as much is the fact that normal fighting with its ability Scrappy, make it completely impossible to resist. Normal fighting with Scrappy is 100%, as the nickname would imply, irresistible. And that just makes it so good, plowing through teams. It's a great revenge killer. And best of all, originally it does have 105 speed before Mega Falls, but no matter what, it does get that Mega Evolution off with the move Fake Out. This just makes Lopunny more terrifying. The Fake Out chip damage can help out really well in certain matches, wearing down teams to the point where Lopunny can just come in and start taking return or high jump kick and just sweeping. It has plenty of other coverage moves such as Ice Punch, Fire Punch. It has Drain Punch to stay healthy. It can run a substitute set. It has access to Baton Pass. I know in the semifinal of the PML, I faced a Mega Lopunny, and with my Mega Venusaur, and it beat me 1v1 because it was Cosmic Power Encore Baton Pass. It was a really cool set. It just shows Mega Lopunny has this more versatility than people usually let on, as well as it's just so good. Like, usually I do like drafting versatility. I like mons that are just so versatile and can do so many things. But when your one job is something you're really good at, you have to get it. Mega Lopunny does mainly one job, and that's just attack, attack, attack. And it is very good at that one job. So, like I said, we had the wheel pick. And I was looking at my options. I was looking at what I wanted to use. And for the second round, we ended up grabbing Jirachi. Jirachi, I wanted Mew. You know, I wanted Mew just because I love using Mew. I'm very good with Mew. I know how to use Mew in so many different ways. But Jirachi is almost just as good. Being able to run almost any set you want, just because of its huge versatile move pool. It has access to so many moves. It learns anything from Stabs and Flash Cannon and Psychic to Fire Punch to Thunder Punch to Play Rough. It even gets Fairy types. It gets Shadow Ball, I'm pretty sure. It gets so much. And it has great support options too. It also has like access to U-Turn. It has access to Stealth Rocks, to Thunder Wave. It has access to Healing Wish, which is a really good move, being as well as Lopunny. It has access to Healing Wish, which is just a really good move, being able to bring back a fallen member, so that maybe a sweeper can get another chance to attack, or another chance to start hitting hard. Its typing, Steel Psychic, grants it 9 resists and an immunity. This thing has great defensive capabilities due to the fact that its bulk and is just so good. 100s across the board is amazing. Speed, well, 100 speed is pretty good. It is kind of low. It does outspeed a lot of stuff, especially when equipped with a Choice Scarf, which Jirachi can run. Jirachi can run so much. It even has setup opportunities and stuff like Calm Mind. It can run Para-Flinching Set with Thunder Wave and Iron Head. It can run anything you can possibly imagine, and that's what makes it so good in this format. It's impossible to predict. And this is what I usually draft. I draft stuff that's hard to predict, stuff that you can't really think, he's going to bring this, he's going to bring this. Sorry. But Jirachi also pairs really well with Lopunny. Lopunny is weak to Fighting, Flying, Psychic, Fairy. Jirachi is neutral to 1 and resists the other 3. Jirachi is weak to Ghost and Dark. Lopunny is immune and resistant. And also, this gives me my Steel type for a possible Fairy Dragon Steel Core, which you'll see we don't end up getting. I ended up not doing what I normally do and get a Fairy Dragon Steel or a Fire Water Grass, but I still got this really good core that I'm really excited for. So after this, I was looking at my options as the draft went all the way back up and all the way back down. And stuff like Togekiss went, and stuff like Sylveon went. And all kinds of Fairy types were going, and I'm like, I have to get my Fairy type right now. If I don't get my Fairy type, I'm not getting one. And as I was looking to what I could use, I really wanted Togekiss. I've used Togekiss before, and it is so good. It, again, versatile. But there was one Fairy type that I had not used that I think is really good in this format, and I think can do very well on my team, and that is Clefable. Clefable has 2 great abilities in Magic Guard and Unaware. Magic Guard allows it to not have to take hazards. It means it can't be toxic and worn down. It means it can only take direct damage. You can only hit it to damage it, which is great. And Unaware stops people from setting up on you. So if you can take a mon on 1v1 without a boost, it can boost up all you want, and Clefable still beats it. It has one of the best defensive typings in the game with Pure Fairy, being only weak to Poison and Steel, very uncommon offensive typings. It has great support moves. It has Thunder Wave. It has Stealth Rock. It has Reliable Recovery. It has Wish Protect. It has... Sorry, it also has access to Healing Wish. So, pick number 3, I have 3 mons that all learn Healing Wish, which just makes my team all the bulkier. Now, Clefable doesn't have the best bulk on paper, but this mon is S-ranked OU for a reason. It is good at what it does. It has great coverage options. It has Moonblast. It has Psychic. It has Fire Blast. It has Thunderbolt. It has other stuff. I think it gets access to... Does it get access to Meteor Mash? It might get access to Meteor Mash. I'm pretty sure it gets access to Meteor Mash. It can Toxic stuff. It can Thunder Wave stuff. It has access to Calm Mind, so it can be a defensive Calm Mind sweeper. It does so well at what it does. And it's just so weird for something with such weird weird stats to do so well, but it's because of that ability and that typing. It makes it so good at walling stuff. Clefable is normally seen as one of the most annoying Pokemon in the game for the fact that it can wall so much. It is one of the few mons that walls Kyurem Black, you. It walls Kyurem Black, which is crazy. Now, again, I got the wheel pick, and I'm looking at my team, and I'm like, okay, I got 2 hazard setters, and I don't have a remover. So I wanted to get a spinner, and I had my eye on some stuff. I was kind of thinking Empoleon, as just go defog, but I really wanted a spinner, and I hadn't got my bulky water type yet. Well, water type, rapid spin, bulky. How many options are there? So we picked up Tentacruel. Tentacruel is really unique in the fact that it is a very fast defensive Pokemon. The fact that 100 base speed for a defensive mon is just so good because it can outspeed, with just a little bit of investment, it can outspeed everything up to base 70. We see Garchomp doing it all the time in OU, running just a little bit of speed and being able to outspeed a large portion of the game. Its special defense is crazy. It has access to rapid spin, keeping hazard off my side of the field while I stack Toxic Spikes on his. Toxic Spikes is really good for wearing down the opponent and just pressuring them. Pressure. This team is all about pressuring opponents with stuff like hazards, with stuff like Thunder Waves, with stuff like bulk. The constant pressure is what I love, because if you're sitting there pressuring your opponent, it starts making them play different. It starts forcing them to do things that they don't want to do, which gives you which allows you to punch holes in the walls. It allows you to just set up and sweep at times, and stuff like this. Tentacruel does that so well. It's so reliable at setting up Toxic Spikes. It's so good at spinning. It has access to one of the best moves in the game with Scald. It also has Knock Off. It has Acid Spray, which is very devastating. Being able to cut your opponent's special defense in half with one move is really devastating, because that also forces switches and causes pressure. It actually has great coverage options too. It has Giga Drain. It has Dazzling Gleam. It has you can put a Hidden Power on it. It may have It may not have high special attack, but it is decent enough to be wary of. It does not get reliable recovery, which does suck. But as long as it has stuff like Black Sludge, it can stay healthy. It also has access to the move, or to the ability Liquid Ooze, so mons that want to come in and use Drain Punch, Draining Kiss, Leech Seed, Giga Drain, no matter what, this switches into that and damages them, which is so good, keeping certain mons that rely on those moves unhealthy. I'm sorry. Ghost getting dry. So, now that I picked Tentacruel, I have a bulky water, which I'm really excited for. And now the draft goes all the way back up, and the draft comes all the way back down. A lot of good mons are still available. We have yet to start dipping into the lower tiers for stuff. I still have a couple of high tier picks, and I want to use them well. I don't have a defogger. I don't have a fast electric type, and you'll see that that's what I really wanted. I wanted a defogger. I wanted more initiative. I wanted fast electric type. I wanted bulk, because while my team is bulky, it could use some more. So in the next round, when it came all the way back down, I was really hoping I would land this mon, and somehow I did. Mandibuzz is a great defensive wall. 110, 105, and 95 defensive stats is really hard to break through, especially when it has access to reliable recovery and roost, and it also has so much support options. It has taunt, it has toxic, it has U-turn, it has knockoff, it has foul play. It has so much stuff that brings great support to its mons, and it's another mon like Clefable that deters setup. If you start boosting your attack in front of a Mandibuzz, foul plays are going to start doing more and more and more to the point where you can't do anything. And like I said with Tentacle, a good speed. 80 speed for a defensive mon is really good. It also gets access to Defog, so that gives me a second hazard remover, which really helps me because my team does not like spikes that often. That doesn't really like the spike. I don't really have a lot of mons that are off the ground. Stealth rocks don't bug me too much. I have this and one other mon that's weak to stealth rocks. Other than that, I got two resistances, and the rest is just normal. Stealth rocks don't bother me too much, but they're good to get rid of. Mandibuzz, there's so much I could say about it. It walls such a large amount of the game due to that defensive stat. It's offensive, not too well, but it can do surprisingly a lot. It has access to such good moves that I don't even want to say because I want it to be a surprise for later. I think Mandibuzz is so great. I think its typing, Dark Flying, provides plenty of resistances. Dark typing is a pretty good defensive typing, and it's also a good offensive typing. But that defensive typing allows it to wall some stuff. It allows it to wall a lot of psychic types. It allows it to wall a lot of ground types. It allows it to wall a lot of ghost types, etc., etc. It walls a good amount, and that's what's so good. It's just there, and it roosts, and it stalls. It's kind of stally, but it's just bulky, and it's good at what it does. Mandibuzz, I can't say good enough about it. I'm so excited to use it. Now, like I said, I also wanted more initiative, so I grabbed a fast electric type. Heliolisk is very good. 109, 109. That is great speed and great offense. It can run Choice Specs, it can run Choice Scarf, it can run Life Orb, offensive. It gets great coverage moves in Surf, Grass Knot, Dark Pulse, you name it. If ground types, this is one mon that ground types don't want to switch into. That's the only thing that love electric types is ground types, and they can't switch in. Now, because I got Surf, I got Grass Knot. There's no ground type that's going to want to take either of those, and that's just how good Heliolisk is. It's a great Volt Switcher. It's great at gathering momentum. It's great because its abilities make it versatile. It can get Dry Skin. It can get Solar Power, and I think Sandville. So no matter what, it's good. You can set weather and support it. Now, like I said, it has Dry Skin. It has one of the few things that anyone can see. Anyone can say. There's so few Pokemon can say they do this. It's immune to Scald. The best move in the game does not touch this thing if it has Dry Skin. It makes it so good against bulky waters. Heliolisk is such a low-key threat. It switches in on waters, and it beats ground types, two things that electric types love to say. That special defense means that standard water types that use special attacks also don't hit it that well. It has great special defense. While its defensive and HP is kind of meh, it doesn't need it. It's meant to come in, hit something, and get out. I love having initiative. It does so well. Its coverage moves is ridiculous, and I can't wait to see what I can do with this thing. So, I was looking at my team, and I was looking at what I could grab, and there was one Mon that is kind of a sleeper. I've never seen it really drafted. I've never really seen it do anything in this format, and I don't know why. I think this is a very good Pokemon that a lot of people just sleep on too much. So we drafted Sceptile. Nuketown here. And I don't know why people don't draft this. Unburden plus 120 base speed. If you get that Unburden off, you will not be outsped. There is nothing that can outspeed you except a Ninjask at +2 or a Selgor after it's Unburden. It outspeeds Hawlucha with Unburden. It outspeeds a +2 Scolipede. It's very good, and it has good offensive. 85, 105 may not look that good, but when boosted by a Life Orb or boosted by Swords Dance, it does very good. It has great coverage moves. Again, versatile. It can run Swords Dance offensive with Leaf Blade or EQ, Rock Slide. I think it gets fighting coverage and Brick Break or Superpower. From the special side, it gets Leaf Storm. It gets Dragon Pulse. It gets HP Fire, Focus Blast. It's just really good, and it's good at beating its checks. If you get this thing set up, it's a great late game sweeper. And but that Unburden is what I'm so excited for. Just being able to run 12 speed EVs and outspeed everything on someone's team, and then being able to be really bulky. A bulky, fast, offensive threat. That is scary. If it can take a hit and outspeed you and one-shot you, what are you going to do? Except click X. So, there was a couple mons I really wanted to grab at this point, but they kind of all left. A Selgor got taken. Garbodor got taken. A lot of mons that can spike stack got taken. I love having spikes. I wanted something new. This league is about me drafting stuff new. I've used on this team. There's 2 mons that I've used in league format before. No, 3. But 2 of them were for 3 matches because the league ended short. So this is going to be about using stuff that I've never used before. And when I'm thinking of stuff that's versatile, stuff that I've never used before, and stuff that's great at spike stacking, I went with another sleeper threat in Smeargle. Smeargle, its stats, piss poor. It has okay-ish, kind of, maybe speed, and the rest is just dog. But what it's good at is knowing every single move in the game. And a lot of people just look at Smeargle and think, okay, a hazard stacker. It gets spikes, it gets toxic spikes, it gets stealth rock, it gets sticky webs. But it does so much more than that. I can run Choice Scarf Final Gambit like A-Drive did. I can run Magic Coat to bounce back your hazards, to bounce back your taunt. I can run taunt itself. I can run, unfortunately, this is going to be set in OU, this league. I can't run Smash or Geopass, sadly. But I can run Agility Pass. I can run, I don't know. There is one set I'm not going to talk about. I did think about it. There's so much I can do, though. This thing just causes people to think differently when they look at your team. When someone looks at your team and they see a Smeargle, they're like, he can come in and he can hazard stack me. What do I do? How do I stop it? Oh my god. And this is why defog is so important, and why I'm glad I have it. This thing also gets defog and rapid spin. Say I need this thing to make an emergency rapid spin, I can do it. I love it. I love having Smeargle on here. It's gonna cause golden word of this draft recap: pressure. Being able to hazard stack, being able to literally cannot know what this thing is gonna do. Yes, it can hazard stack. Yes, it can set up Swords Dances. It can do that. It's allowed to set up 3 Swords Dances and Baton Pass. And then all of a sudden I have a +6 Lopunny on the field with blustering speed that outspeeds everything on your team, and what are you going to do? You lose. It's good. It's so good, and I can't wait to see what I can do with it. I just want to go through and just think of what I can do with this, how I can use it, what I can use it for, what I can beat with it. It's going to do great things. So, I'm looking at my team at this point, and I'm thinking, okay, I got 3 more spots. What do I need? And I'm looking at my weaknesses. I'm looking what I have. I'm looking at what I don't have. I'm like, I could go for another Stealth Rock setter. Why not? I never can have enough hazards. I'm like, okay, so Stealth Rocks. That's what I want. Something else that says Stealth Rock. And I'm like, okay, what do I got on weaknesses? Ooh, I got 3 fighting weaknesses. I got 1, 2, 3 ground weaknesses, I could use something that could cover this both up. So Amon, while this typing isn't very good, it does resist fighting, it does resist ground, and it does set up Stealth Rock. So I managed to pick up Amon that no one was going to pick up, Pinsir. Pinsir, I don't know why people don't pick this up more often. Look at those stats. 125 attack, 85 speed. That's okay speed. Great abilities. Moxie, Mold Breaker. It can set up Stealth Rocks on a Mega Sableye. It can run Scarf Moxie with X-Scissor or something and just start plowing through teams and getting boosts along the way. It has access to Swords Dance. It has okay coverage. It has EQ. It has Rock Slide. It has EQ, Rock Slide. It has Knockoff. It has Close Combat. And it also has Bulk Up, which I'm excited to think about. I'm trying to think of if I can actually run a Spadef Bulk Up set, which is going to be cool. It can hit Mold Breaker. We'll let it hit levitating mons such as Electros with Earthquake. It's a lot better than some people let on. It's just a good Pokemon in general. Like, Magic Bounce is going to be scary. There is someone who is running Mega Sableye, and spoiler alert, I can set up hazards on you. Bring it on. 85 speed, not the best, not the worst. It does let it outspeed a lot of stuff, and with a Choice Scarf, it outspeeds, I believe, it can outspeed everything up to 150 base speed. So Mega Alakazam, Mega Arrow, which is great. Something to keep in mind. Now, the next mon we grabbed was Rotom. Rotom does one of the same things that Pinsir does, and that's resist fighting and ground. Except he's immune. His typing, Electric Ghost with Levitate, 5 resists and 3 immunities. Which is really good. Having 3 immunities is just great. Its stats are kind of interesting, but it has a lot of weird bulk. It doesn't look like it has a lot of bulk, but its bulk is a lot more surprising than you would let on. It has okay special attack and speed. And it's another electric type. It gives me more Volt Switch, which I was loving. It gives me a mon that can use Will-O-Wisp. It gives me a mon that can use something like Sub-Hex. It's actually very versatile. It can run Choice Specs. It can run Trick. It can run Choice Scarf. It can run Sub-Hex. It can run Defensive. And that 91 speed is really good. It outspeeds stuff it helps outspeed Modest Cure and Blacks. It outspeeds all the 90s. It's cool, and if it's running defensive, it's another fast defensive mon. Well, this is a lower tier pick. It is a tier 6 pick. I had to pick a tier 6, so I picked Rotom because I think it was the best one in there. I do think it's good for tier 6, but I don't think it's going to be broad heavy match. It's still good. It still does what it does good, and that's what I'm excited to see about. Excited to see. Now we have one spot left. I'm looking at what's left, and there's not a lot. And I'm doing some calcs to see what could actually use some threats. And I was like, you know what I don't have? An offensive water type. I was thinking about grabbing a fire type and just going Rapidash or something, or Mercargo or something. But I was like, I don't have an offensive water type. And you know what's really good? That, again, a lot of people sleep on, is Frogadier. Great speed, and that special type 83, a lot of people laugh at. But Protean and a Life Orb make this thing ridiculously strong. There was something else calcing it against. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a Goodra. It might have been a Goodra. One of the especially bulky mons in the game. It 2-shots a standard assault vest, I believe. I believe this was what I was calcing. We're going to do live calcs on my draft recap video. But it also gets access to a lot of good coverage moves, and it can get stab on all of them, so it's just all the better. No, it can't one-shot, 2-shot it. It 2-shot something. It was really cool. And now I'm sad that I don't know what it is. But it gets a lot of coverage moves. It gets dark moves, it gets fighting moves, it gets poison moves to hit fairies. It has access to toxic spikes, which is really cool. It has access to taunt. It gets U-turn, which is more Volt Turn. I ended up with 1, 2, Smeargle, technically 3, 4, 5, 6, and Baton Pass on Lopunny. 7 mons that have some form of initiative, which is so good. Initiative, hazards, make this thing so good, and it is a lot. Like I said, it's a lot stronger. I just did calc. It does 34% with a Life Orb Ice Beam to a Goodra, which is still crazy, especially with 83 special attack. That's still crazy because Goodra is just a big, fat special tank that takes 0 from every hit. It takes Hydreigon on. So, all in all, looking at my team as a whole, there are some weaknesses. I will admit, my team does have some things wrong with it. But overall, it's a great team that I'm so excited to see work. It has initiative, it has hazards, it pressures, it has offense, it has versatility. And like that word, I'm going to use it one more time. Pressure, 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 pressure. It's great at pressuring the opponent. Mega Lopunny is really good at pressuring. The Volt Turn pressures. The hazards pressure. The versatility pressures. This is the team that's going to lead me to victory. I'm really excited for this. I really hope that everyone out there is ready to support the New York Metagross in the MLP, because the New York Metagross are taking this one home. The New York Metagross are ready to win. The New York Metagross will bring this home. I hope everyone has a great day. The first week will not be until next week, I believe. We're gonna be uploading team builders on Sundays, and then the actual matches on Mondays. So I hope everyone's good. Looking forward to that. I gotta get out of here. I hope everyone has a great day. I really hope you're ready to support New York Metagross as we go for the gold.